Okay. Have I shared screen everywhere? Let me get back to Discord and share my screen. You sent 2 emails yesterday. It asked you to log in. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to walk through. I didn't get any email. I just checked again. Okay. Everybody should be seeing screen. Everybody should be hearing voice. Good morning, officially. Welcome out to the Market Watch Group Weekly Opening Bell. My name is Scott. I will be your host. As always, remember that we're not brokers, we're not advisors. We don't give advice or recommendation. This subscription service is for education and illustrative purposes only. And let's talk about today. We'll look at the opening futures. They look pretty good. Nice and flat. A little bit positive, actually. Everywhere except for the Dow. Well, positive futures in the NASDAQ and the Russell tells us that the selling pressure that we saw last week seems to be ebbing, which would then allow for buying pressure to flow again. So, yeah, that looks nice. That's in line. Remember that our objective here, we only met 21 hours ago. And we just finished at that time assessing the market. Nothing's changed. Right? Wrong. What's changed? The market opened. Futures started trading last night. And then we had overnight, and they traded in Asia and they traded in Europe, and now it's getting ready to trade here. We have opening futures, and now we take what we were looking at from our posture and we translate it into, okay, so what are we going to trade? Are we trading today? Are we looking for setups today? Friday was a sell-off day. Today we're looking for what? Probably some stabilization. Maybe something early starts firing today. Maybe not until tomorrow, but yeah, I'm certainly, we had a huge list of stocks that were showing potential setups. I'm going to be going through all of those. Absolutely. We'll look at the economic calendar. We'll review our posture for anybody who missed it. Mindset for open trades. Right now, other than longer term, more like position holdings or equity holdings, I would imagine you don't have a ton of trades that you carried through Friday sell-off into the weekend, unless it's designed for that. If it was a hedge probably reacted phenomenally well on Friday. Today you'll have to make decisions like, hey, is that hedge going to start to lose money? Do I need to do something with it? Yeah, that's exactly the decision you should be making. Do you have any delta neutral trades like we do on the calendar? That trade's fine. This is exactly what I was expecting for that trade, was for it to stabilize and start to possibly move back up and get back into its range. And, if it moves up and then just gets stuck, that trade will just sit and produce money for us. If it doesn't start to move back up, we can adjust. If it moves up too fast, I can adjust. So that trade's got flexibility. I don't need to. This is the calendar spread, by the way. If anyone didn't see that, we'll take a look at that. But we'll go through our opportunity list because it's vast, and we'll look at analytics this week. We have 2 more sections. Analytics, next week we're doing goals. And that's it. That's your plan. You get a few weeks to process, relax, finish the year strong, and then when we start 2025, we don't have a New Year's resolution of, hey, let's make a new, better trading plan. That's what other lesser trading groups do. They create their trade. We already have it. It's refined. It's really starting to, strengthen in some areas that weren't. And now we're going to execute Our focus will be on execution, will be on accountability, will be on assessing daily. Did you execute the rules as intended? Did you deviate? If so, why? And really start to see a higher level of execution, right? We far too often, I see plenty of people who have plans, but then their problem is they're not sticking to the plan. They're breaking rules. They're like, oh, I keep breaking my rules. Well, yeah, then be harder on yourself to some like hold yourself accountable for that. Why? Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Futures say what? S&P is flat, 0.07. Dow is down, 0.09. NASDAQ, the leader, up 0.33. Russell, the other, 0.34. Oil, up almost 1%. I think oil's trying to figure out some things. We'll see what happens there. Gold, back up 1.5%. Okay. What else do we know? NVIDIA reporting earnings. That's important. Tesla stock jumps as Trump team backs self-driving cars. Oh, do they? I guess we'll see. MicroStrategy buys $4.6 billion of Bitcoin. Wow. Okay. New NVIDIA chips have issue with overheating. Wall Street bear Wilson from Morgan Stanley sets bullish target for 2025. Souring S&P profit outlook, a bad sign for stock market rally. These two are just back and forth. All right. Let's look at the calendar. What do we have coming out today? Home Builder Confidence Index. Really, no one cares. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee. Everybody cares what Goolsbee has to say. I'm sure he will bring joy and delight to the crowd. Welcoming remarks. Then tomorrow, housing starts, building permits, and another round of Austin. He's looking to stand out, I think. Wednesday, more Fed speak. Yeah, the Fed is. We'll go look, but I think we know what the Fed's doing. There's not a lot going out today, this week. Jobless claims still sitting pretty okay. Few more Fed speaks later on Thursday. Friday, we have consumer sentiment. That's supposed to tick up just a little bit. So not much. Not much. What's our Fed watch say right now? Let's get an update. It's still better than 50-50, but not a lot. I still find myself in this camp. I think the Fed was rattling a little saber rattling, like, hey, we're gonna do what we want, and then they're gonna raise it like, well, yeah, we did say we were going to, and we're going to, but still, we'll do what we want. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let's take a quick look. So here are our futures, and let's get ready to talk about our posture for anybody who didn't see it. So a couple of interesting things. This was the most interesting for me, was the fact that last week we pulled back and our posture increased and improved. Yeah? Well, mine did. Not everybody's did. I know that, right? Not everybody's did. I'm actually curious. Did yours increase? Like, if yours increased, let me know. Why is that interesting? Because the market dropped. In fact, it literally went sideways, down, down, down. So how does the market posture increase? Because the market posture, we said this a little bit at the end of yesterday, we are identifying fundamental conditions. We're looking at the fact that it went down for 4 days. That's very superficial analysis. You're like, oh, it went down. It's red. Red is bearish. right? It's very superficial. It's very simple. We're not looking at the surface. We're looking underneath the surface to find out, like, what are the fundamentals of this market. The trend is what's important. The fact that it pulled back to a higher low was in line with its trend. Trend score didn't change. In fact, some people could argue to have raised their long-term score. They're like, hey, it's back up in this, above this green line where I was. Now, I didn't because I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at the top of the green line, not the bottom of the green line. Let me show you what I mean. Market's about to open anyway, so let's pop over to the SPY. Then we'll get to our watch list because we want to have a sense of what's coming. So if I go in here and I look at this, but I was looking up here, the fact that we haven't gotten up there. So that's what's changed my trajectory line. But at the end of the analysis, neither one of those were changed. The only thing changed from this top half was volume dropped. Right? Okay. Then what? Major markets stayed the same. Sector rotation looked fantastic. I've got 5 growth sectors: financials, industrials, technology, consumer discretionary. Did I miss one? Communication services. Across all time frames. This is like this beautiful setup. So I've got a 1 there. I've got the NASDAQ and the Russell leading across multiple time frames. I've got a 1 there. The VIX last week, even though price never actually advanced higher, our sentiment indicator, that is representative of institutional sentiment, showed increased confidence. And so we scored the VIX higher, and at the end of it, I got a 6.5. Even though. So I look at that and I think, yeah, this is beautiful. We held strength. We actually added strength. So Steven says, no cut. No cut camp for December. Fair enough. Fair enough. So bottom line, I'm a 6. I wanted to show you guys something. Tell me what you think about this. I keep a historical. I actually made some progress on it. I keep a historical market posture log. So you're all welcome to come in and look at this. And at the bottom, I was playing around. I've done this before with some like, it's very similar to how a stochastics works. The way a stochastics works is you look back at, how does this compare now to where it was high or low over the last X number of days? So what I was looking at was a momentum index. Like, how does this week look compared to what? And I've gone like the last week. Is it just higher than last week? But that's pretty simple. That's pretty superficial. The last 3 weeks, like a rolling, but I didn't like what I got there. So what I ended up with was I went back 1, 3, and 5 weeks. 1, 3, and 5. And so essentially what it's looking at down here is how much better is it? So I actually made some progress with this because, let me go back. I was looking at the last time. So here you can kind of see a very similar type market where we're, 4 1/4, 4.75, and then we pop to a 6. But we actually got a momentum index prior to that. You can see before we got to a 6, we got to this momentum index that showed positivity coming. I'm trying to play with this. So I would invite you, if this interests you as a indication, to go in. You have access to this page. You don't have access to the formulas. I could certainly give them to you, but you can go in and take a peek at this and just sort of look at the patterns. right? What happens when we see? Because what happens here is you can kind of see things sometimes that you might not have seen. Like back here, where you can kind of see where a 575, 5755, and then you can sense that momentum is tipping a little bit, and it just sort of helps to kind of pull back. Even though I'm a 5 still, I have a minus 0.75. That might ease what I'm looking to do at that time. So I'm playing with this, as I've played with it before, and I never found anything that I liked. But as I looked at this, I kind of was like, oh, this is interesting. So if you go into historical market posture, that's what this will show you, and you'll see this momentum index down at the bottom. So anyways, let me pull this back. Oh, what's the current index? Good. You can kind of see that things stalled for a minute. We are negative, and then bam, 1, 2. We just popped. We like to see that there. So anyway, okay, let's get to the market. Let's get to our watch list. Feeling bullish. What are we looking for? Okay, so the market opened a little higher. I'm on the S&P. And what's the opening range in the first 5 minutes? What did it do? Sold off a little bit. Not like sold off, but the sellers came in. So as long as it doesn't break below this level here, I think we have a good ability to hold and start testing the bounce. You can see that we're settling into a possible higher low. Stochastics is pulling back to a oversold position. Yeah. Everything here looks good. Sorry, let me just go make sure I don't have any. Scott at the Market Watch Group. Okay. Bob, real quickly. Audio is breaking up. Sam, is it better? Real quickly, Bob. The last email you sent to the CView, you need to add a B. Scott B. Scott B at cviewlg.com. And then we can go. Okay, let me get back to my watch list and let's get through these. Apple feels pretty flat, right? Not really got much expectation for momentum there. If you were going to do it, you were going to try it here. You could have snuck a little gain out of this. I think I actually broke even on that trade. Aflac, doesn't look great yet. Amazon, now that's looking close, right? We've got a pullback, starting to stabilize. We're looking to see if this thing starts to establish its new higher low. APO, not yet. Still kind of pulling back. APP, not yet. AXP looks close. Yeah, this stochastics is moving into a setup position. This is in a setup position. That's looking pretty close. Bank of America overextended. BK, maybe. BX overextended, waiting for a pullback. This has everything. So like this cart is new. Already it's starting to kind of like not hold up. We found it last week on Tuesday. That was right before earnings. And then they reported earnings. And now it's like, well, let's see. I'll give it a little bit of time. I also wouldn't trade it, right? Caterpillar. Holding the 50 is what we said we needed to see, but I might think Fastenal looks better. We'll see when we get there. Celestica Equity. I don't even know what this is, but it's trying to turn around. It's too early for me to want to trade it. I like to look at them for a while first, watch them. I just barely got this on yesterday. I don't know. CMG is setting up nicely. If that holds on the 50, we've got a nice trade setting up there. CNK, Cinemark Holdings out of Communication Services. Looks pretty good. Coherent. What are the criteria for some of these that have pulled back? That they make higher lows and that they hold the 50. And what did this do? Made a higher low and it held the 50. That's starting to be viable for a setup. Cisco, viable for a setup. Now, these would all be anticipatory. Could you be thinking about an anticipatory trade in this market? Yeah, 6.5, sure. Sure you can. A lot of them? No. There's no need to just start anticipating, right? Delta. Nope, waiting for the pullback, but looks bullish. Diamonds, looks okay. Fastenal, starting to really make an argument. I said I think there'll be multiple trades alerts this week. Multiple. Fiserv. Lot of strong looking stocks right now. Look at Flex. Starting to stabilize. Fox pulling back. Not quite yet. GBTC a little overextended. GE Vernova getting closer and closer. The sellers have had an opportunity for quite a while. What are they doing with it? Nothing. Gold. A little bit of a pop today, but gold scrambling to stabilize. General Motors. Close. It's getting closer. A lot of things getting closer. Google. I'm telling you, the list is chock full across multiple sectors. There's nothing about what I'm seeing here that is at all concerning or doesn't look good. Home Depot looks good, setting up. Robinhood won't even pull back. HWM is new. Howmet Aerospace, still waiting for a pullback. IP. Look at IP. An argument could be made. Could have been made on Friday, actually. Interestingly. Everybody's looking to get back into paper. Small caps. Johnson Controls, very bullish. Fastenal and Johnson Controls, those are my favorites right now from within the industrial sector. KKR is putting the final touches on an invitation with an envelope. It'll have a formal wax seal, maybe some perfume added so it smells nice. Formal invitation for me to trade it again. Dear Scott, I've missed you. Please, I would like to trade with you again. And I'm like, yeah, me too. I've missed you too. Okay. MasterCard setting up. That looks fantastic. Do we need both AXP and MasterCard? It's one or the other. I don't know. MasterCard kind of looks a little bit more stable. Ribbons and rose petals for sure. You know, I like it fancy. As does KKR. Meta MasterCard looks good. I like it. I think I might like MasterCard better than AXP for credit trade. Meta, no. I like Google better than Meta. Meta and Google go back and forth. Like, who wants to be the big dog on the communication services porch? And right now, I think Google is establishing some dominance. It's, reaching down, stealing Meta's toy. Like, it's my toy now. What? Okay. Morgan Stanley, overextended. Nothing there for us now. Microsoft, no. I never stop. Microsoft's always going to be on the list, but like right now, if you look at that, there's nothing there for us to trade. MicroStrategy, got some argument for a bull flag breakout. That sucker is accelerating. Can it continue on that trajectory? That's a tough one. Man, I'll tell you what, that stock just went insane when it broke that 50 and held it really right there. It's just like popped out of it, pulled back, higher low, higher low, higher low. Just knocking it down. NASDAQ, viable. Netflix, not yet, but getting close. NVIDIA. We already said this is a tough trade to try to make right in front of earnings, so be careful there. Palantir. Yeah. Friday was insane. Everybody else is selling off, and Palantir makes this enormous, like, 10% move. Now it's giving it back, though, so well, we'll see. I still like it. PayPal, I like. PayPal's looking setting up. So the list is around 80. If you go, I put a post on it, and I connected the post with a link to get the new watch list. It's like 82 stocks. It's a good, chunky watch list. Plenty of opportunities for us here. Roblox. Looks great, right? Reddit. There's a couple of new ones in here that are strong. Rocket Labs. That was a high flyer. I just thought I'm going to throw that on the list. It's not looking tradable right now to me. SEC limited ADR. Yeah. Southern utilities aren't looking great. SoFi's looking pretty strong. All the financials look strong. SPY. Let's take a peek at that. Anybody in the calendar? Where are we on the calendar? MSTR is the most expensive option. Yeah, the vol was crazy, right? So here's our calendar. We're sitting down here. Even though we're at this little crisscross point, we're still theta positive. What are we looking for here? Well, we're bullish. We're bullish. We think there's a very good chance that the market bounces. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It could take 3 weeks. The longer it takes, you can see that as time passes, it's just pumping value into this bullish space here. We're sitting out here, and we're just kind of waiting for this to pump up, pump, and it just sits in here pumping up value. So as long as we move up into that eventually, and we get up in that area, this thing will make money. If it sits down here too long, then what do I think about? I think, oh, it's not doing what it's supposed to. What can I do? I can add, if I'm worried about volatility, I can add a butterfly. If I'm not worried about it, I can add a calendar, and I can extend it so that if we're going to get stuck, I can do something with that. So that is, that's a nice one. That's what its point was, right? Its point was to provide some delta neutral action. We don't need the stock to go. I mean, now we need it eventually to go back up, but we don't need it to happen right now. We have time. Questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, let's get back to the watch list. TGNA, Tegna Inc. I'm not sure what this one does. I liked it. Had a nice trend. This is one that you could consider buying the stock on, theoretically. Volume, we're only trading about 2 million a day. Okay. TJ Maxx, retail, waiting for earnings, but overall looks pretty good. Okay, let's keep going. T-Mobile communication services. Yeah, look at that. Right? Very nice trend there. Okay, let's keep looking. I like this one a lot, actually. Yeah, as I look at that, it's very strong. TOST. Okay. Toast Inc. Not sure what they do. Tesla. TSM. What do you guys think about Tesla? Willing to jump in? Feels a little bit late. Feels like it's a big pop without giving much. TSM? No, it's coming down a little too much. Okay. TTD holding up. Twilio. Someone else mentioned this one as well. This is strong. This is nice. Are we 100% on Circle? No, we are not. We still have, we're still making the migration. Kind of erratic all morning. Yeah, see, you know what, you guys? I feel like for the most part it's holding up, but sometimes it switches. So that's, I would say this. Grab that link in the zone, Sam. Grab that link that I sent. Let me see if I can just post it again. I'm just gonna keep putting it around. Log in. The second you land. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, this looks real familiar, right? This looks real familiar. Sometimes I think I have to come back in to like have it reestablish its connection. So I'm going to leave it here for just a second to see if that works. Yeah, I apologize for the confusion. Like I said, pardon our dust. It's a better experience, so it'll be worth it. But yeah, I know there's going to be a little bit of friction in the process, and I appreciate everyone's patience with that. Okay. Upwork. Holding. Right? Holding. Okay, let's keep going. UUP looks bullish, overextended. VFC, that was a new one. I'm already kind of not liking the way that this one looks. Yeah. I don't know. We have enough. Like, we don't need. I think I'm going to get rid of VFC. Here's the VIX today. What did we think this VIX was going to do? We thought it was going to pop up. That's what it's doing. We said anything less than 18, great. Sitting underneath that moving average or that 50-day, yeah, this looks just fine. Right? There's really nothing about it that's in any way problematic to us. All right, let's keep looking. VRT looking strong. Visco looking Visco Victoria's Secret. I don't know why I call it Visco. I'm not sure that's formally what it's known as. Okay, let's keep looking. Overextended, but retail definitely has some possibilities, right? Okay, let's keep going. Walmart. I like Walmart, but it's got earnings, so there's not much we can do with it until it comes back. Materials are down. Communication services setting up. Energy a little overextended. Financials a little overextended, but possibly still. Industrials look great. Technology looks great. Staples. Nothing much there. Nor in utilities, nor in healthcare. Look at healthcare just getting battered. Consumer looks strong. XPEV. And Zillow looks very strong. So there you go. The watch list is full. There are lots of opportunities. I would expect 3 to 4 opportunities in different sectors. So what you're thinking is how many, where, right? What am I doing with my risk to get this all established in a way that makes sense? Questions, comments, concerns. Let's talk about the trading plan. Remember that we are working on Section 7, analytics. In order to get those analytics, I am going to go to let's see. Where are we going here? Let me get to the home page, and I'm going to show you where all this is. All right, this is on Circle. Those of you who are already there, those of you who are coming soon. But if you come down to your alerts and resources, maybe. I'm chewing up a lot of resources, I know, with the way that I'm doing things. Okay, here we go. Group downloads. Group downloads and links. You'll find everything in there. Group downloads and links. You'll find everything you need to grab our trading plan, to grab the links, to grab all of it. So make sure that you look to do that. All right. Other than that, remember that we are still meeting on Monday mornings or Monday evenings. So if anyone wants to get together, have a chat, it's a great time to bring some feedback about Circle, what you like, what you don't like, what will make it easier. It's a great way to ask questions about the group or to give feedback about the group. So would love for you to join us and participate in that. Otherwise, I guess I am still going to kind of keep going. Press, I agree. He says it seems to be quite stable by comparison. So if you're still on Discord, make your way across. It'll be worth it. I will keep sending messaging I will start posting more in Discord to make sure that everybody's ready to move across. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. It's good to see you all. Have a great rest of your Monday. See you tonight, hopefully. If not, see you tomorrow night for a working session. As always, happy trading.